MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And I guess I'm going to let you say it's hump day.
It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week.
We
It's a pretty day so far, but you know.
Oh, it's hot weather lined up for us. And
Yeah.
we're 10 days away from Christmas.
Oh, goodness.
And today we hit 72. By Friday, we would be at 75 and 76 on the temperature poll. And that just, I'm telling you, it ain't good. Y'all know that. As we look at the extended forecast, let's look at it so you know what I'm talking about. Look at that.
And then after Saturday, we're back down
In some 50s there.
cooler temperatures.
But let's go ahead and look at Christmas because it's going to warm up for you. So
Like
you'll
a
have
roller coaster
yeah.
ride.
Christmas Eve is 66 and Christmas Day is 66 also. So we're not, we'll have a couple days of some 50s and then back up with those temps again.
Yeah.
When will it become winter is what we ask.
I don't know. And, you know, we're sitting here talking about that, and then we might get like the hard winter. And then
We
we'll be
could.
thinking, why did we say that?
January could be a different ball game for us in February as well. But, you know, we've got thunderstorms coming in on Saturday. There's nothing predicted that says it's going to be horrible, but it always worries me when we have 75-degree weather.
Right.
It's December, so watch all of this.
Yes, I have a grandbaby due in February, so I'm hoping it's not like too harsh. You know.
Y'all expecting a boy or girl?
Boy, another boy. It's two boys. Yep.
It's a heap of them. Y'all got a name for this?
Raiden.
I've never heard that name.
Raiden.
Like you're raiding a place.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's
We're going raiding tonight.
R-A-I-D-E-N. Raiden.
Okay,
Raiden.
New name for Scotty Ray.
And Riker is the other one. So, yeah.
That was a TV character, wasn't it? Riker?
I don't know. It sounds like a soap opera character, doesn't it?
Maybe I heard that on Airplane.
I don't know.
Maybe. It's been many years. But, yeah, got the R name going there
Yes,
in the
they
family.
do. Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of families do that tradition to where they name each child where it kind of rhymes.
Yeah, they do. But some families, you know, all the kids will start with the same first
Initial.
letter. You know, I have Madison, Layton, and Colton, and then I have Alden, and all of the other ones end with a O-N, and so Alden was like, "Why does mine end with the E?" I mean, he noticed that. I wouldn't even have thought.
I wouldn't either. Slid right by me there.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with it. We did have some reports of gunfire in Meridian last night as we pull up the map to take a look at that. Reported on Valley Street. That's just off of 8th Street. Again, no one was shot, but it was reported that we heard some bang-bangs up in the air last night. And so that's where that was, off 8th Street, if you're keeping track of things like that, so you'll sort of know what went on last night. Let's see here some other things. We did have a building that was bumped into in an auto accident yesterday. As we pull this up, 2400 block of 16th Street. Car kind of bumped into the building there.
Which building was it? Just a house or?
I think it was actual
business?
business, but I would have to do some Googling to go back. That was yesterday. I don't remember that from the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it did bump the building. Everybody was okay, I think.
That's good.
They had to come haul it away and take care of things. And you brought up something that there wasn't a lot to report on it, but there was a lot of police presence on Highway 11 and 80 yesterday.
Yeah.
As one text I got said, where are the 25 Sheriff's Department cars going to?
Yes, that's what they were saying. I saw a girl's that I know, her post, and she was like, Scotty Ray needs to find out.
I talked to Ward about that, and it was reported that somebody had possibly done a home invasion somewhere and was in the area, and they were not to be found. They never turned up anything. But let me tell you, they combed the area. They look good.
Yeah.
So
hopefully they'll be able to catch who it was.
Yeah.
It was,
and we do not know if they were ever there. It was just, you know how it's called in and reported.
Right.
So, but the Sheriff's Department just didn't turn up anybody. But if you see things that are suspicious, always call the police and let them know that this is going on. It could be somebody that just done something down the road. If it looks suspicious, and what's that old saying about walks like a duck, acts like a duck?
It probably is a duck.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. This is the last day I wanted to bring this up to where you can take advantage of this. Later on this afternoon, I'll have to find out the exact time, but they're going to be doing this. You've got a last chance to help out Byron Kemp for a benefit.
Yes.
They're doing this in Clark County to raise money.
Mm-hmm. If I'm understanding, he is in remission, but they're doing this to help with the medical expenses that had added up, because that will add up in a hurry.
I know when Angie, my wife, would go get her treatments, it was like $8,000 every time.
Yeah.
And then she got this little patch thing that you had to carry home. That was the price of that was. Yeah. It was high dollar. But anyway, what it does, if you've ever seen one of those and go, I don't know what it is, this little thing that goes on your arm, at certain times during the day, after you have your chemo treatments, it injects something into your arm.
Right.
I don't know what that little thing is called. I'm sure that there's other people that do. I just remember looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
But she made it through it, and we certainly hope that Byron will too.
Yes.
So that old cancer stuff.
But go and help support this. It's a good cause to help him out.
So
and we're definitely glad that he is better.
Yeah, certainly
Scary thing.
Don't forget they're giving away the free balls this weekend out at Highland Park. The city of Meridian is going to be doing this.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be Saturday, December the 18th, 10 a.m. until noon. And all children that are present, ages K through 12, they're going to get a ball. Mm-hmm. So
while supplies last, they'll hand those out. Now, something when you just said the 18th, I was thinking, well, that's next weekend. How many times have you missed something because in your head you had a date?
Right.
Oh, that's the following weekend.
Yeah, you think it's further ahead than it actually is. I mean, time just flies by, as we know.
I have missed several events this year because of that little mistake there of not actually looking at a calendar.
Well, there's so many different things going on. And then you just have a lot on your mind that, trying to keep everything sorted out. I mean, you just really lose track. I mean, I do every day.
Yesterday, I was booking some guests for us in January, and I turned around to write it on the calendar behind your head. And guess what?
What?
There ain't no 22 calendar back that'll write it on. So, whoops.
Get you one of those.
Yeah, I've got to go invest in one of those for the year. I'm not new at that. And don't forget about this as we bring up things that are going on in the community. The three-way stop. I almost wanted to say it was a four-way, but it's an actual three-way street there on 23rd Avenue and 11th Street.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of kids are dropped off there for daycare in that area too. And it'll just really help.
Yeah, but just be aware. And, if you know somebody that you don't think is aware, tell them about it. Because, I mean, people will shoot right on through there.
Yeah.
Not realizing there's a stop sign now.
If you got your mind on something else and you don't normally stop somewhere, it's called boogie there, boogie there. Mm-hmm. And it's too late.
Getting hurt.
That's right. The toy drive that the city public works is doing is being held today. If you want to help out with this little function there, it begins at 12:30. It'll take place at the Public Works Complex. If you'd like to drop off a toy and help a kid do so.
Yes, and they want a new and unwrapped toy. So don't wrap it, so they'll know if it's for a boy or girl.
Correct.
That's right.
I had some folks asking for a new unwrapped wife, but I don't think that's going to happen. The dating world, and I missed Bill's performance last night. I was tied up.
I saw a little bit of it, and it was good.
Go ahead,
Bill.
Bill.
The Christmas tree lit up and sparkling.
I forgot about all that.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning to Pat Banks in downtown Macon, Mississippi, as the sun is coming up. I hope everything is great there in Macon.
Yes, and good morning to Barbara Vick. She's in the Moscow community. Tina Collins, good morning to you, and Stephen Wanda McKinnon, good morning.
See, where was that comment that I just saw? Oh, yeah. John Talbert said, good morning, Scotty Ray and Bossy.
Yeah, good morning.
I wonder who they could be talking about.
I told my husband.
And I bet he didn't say a word.
I was called Bossy, and he said, by who? And I said, well, I mean, we were just talking on the show, and they said I was possibly bossy. And he looked, he said, I said, I am not bossy. He went, I'm calling the show in the morning. I said, we don't have call-ins.
See, your husband is so right.
But, yeah.
I didn't even have to talk to you. I bet your mama could tell us more stories than anybody.
Lord.
When I was
get Sandra started.
A youngster, I mean, oh boy, I don't know how many years ago that when I worked in high school at Bailey Grocery, she used to come in all the time and tell me about that mean little girl she had.
She did not.
She did. It was all the time.
I do remember you working there though. We lived up on the hill from there.
Is that where you lived?
We lived in that little blind brick house up on the hill.
My,
Leon Bailey owned it, but we We were living there.
Let's just face it. At one point in time, Leon owned everything out here.
He did. He did.
What a man he was. He was a character. I always enjoyed Leon. Always had a story to tell. Him and Charlie
Real southern sounding.
Right.
He and Miss Prue.
And you never knew when Leon would pass through your yard in his Lincoln taking a shortcut.
Yeah.
Because he had to get there. It was hilarious there. Let's see, as we go through some more good mornings there, Byron Troy joins us. Also, Joyce Godwin, Snowden Godwin there. How are you?
Jenny Boyd, good morning. And Linda Jane Lunsford, good morning. She says, happy hump day.
Yeah, well, love to hear from you as well. Send us a note. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're going to be hitting the woods today, what is the best times to deer hunt? Now, don't forget, everybody that enters in the Battle of the Bucks hunting contest, we draw for a free mount. You just enter. You ain't got to have the biggest. We just put all the names in a hat and pull out a winner. Today's best times to go hunt is lunchtime, 10 till lunch.
That's odd.
It is. You've always heard, and I've never been that guy that done that noon hunting is better than any other time.
Yeah, most people get up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah. And freeze and never see anything.
And then stay in the woods until it gets too dark to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that, as y'all sense, Miss Bossy over there.
I like to hunt, and I never would though hunt by myself because I didn't want to walk out by myself at night.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You hear sounds in the woods, and
that's just your stomach growling.
No, I think because I know at one point my husband was in the woods and heard it sounded like hogs.
Yeah.
And it was like a bunch of them. So that's scary.
Normally, if you just fire a round
coyotes.
off in their direction, they leave you alone.
Or coyotes,
Now, that does send kind of chill.
I would probably break my neck trying to get out of there.
Especially
Anyway.
when it's dark and they're 10 feet away, or at least it sounds it.
Right.
Those do.
That's a wicked sound to me. I don't like
that howl.
Yeah, all of them start at the,
It's kind of like a mother-in-law howl, if y'all know what I mean on that. Let's look at radar where the fog is this morning, because there is some up. If you're going to be headed south out of Meridian, if you're watching in the Hattiesburg area toward the Gulf Coast area, be careful. Here's what we got on radar right now, and it's a bunch of fog. We still have some fog advisories, and this will remain around. Let me see here. It's not wanting to act right there. It's going to remain around until 9 a.m. for these areas around Laurel, if you're in there, all the way through Hattiesburg, down to the Louisiana line right there. So be careful in those areas as you travel about this morning. Gulfport and those areas may still have a little bit of fog there to the Louisiana line. Let's a quick look at what's going on in and around with weather as we get 10 days away from Christmas.
I know. I'm almost done. I still got a little bit of stuff to do, but yesterday I was on a mission trying to get my son a couple of Christmas shirts. And
The Christmas shirts.
Yeah, because they can wear Christmas shirts to school with jeans for the rest of the week. That's not just something you keep in the closet, for kids.
Because I almost forgot about that. You have to wear the school uniform.
Yeah, so when they get to wear something different, that's a treat, And when kids, they grow every year, of course, and so you don't have just a Christmas shirt unless you go buy one every year. Last year's don't fit anymore, so not like adults when you just pull one out of the closet and most of the time still fits. But anyway, that was my mission yesterday.
Did analysts ever figure out if it's cheaper to wear school uniforms or regular clothes? What was ever determined on that? As a mom buying, what is better?
As a mom buying, I did not. I know it probably looks better. You can control what they wear, because you never knew what I guess people were going to wear to school.
Right.
If it was too short as a girl or whatever. It's more expensive to me, though. You have to buy 2 sets of uniforms. You have to buy summer, or for warm weather, not
Right.
summer, but warmer weather, cooler weather. And then you have to have a whole new wardrobe, too, because kids keep continuing to grow. Of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was more expensive to me, but
That's your thoughts on it?
that's just my thought.
Yeah, if you disagree.
I know it does look better. It looks more,
I didn't even think about the short dresses and the. Do you have to keep them pulled up? Let me ask that, because once people get older, they seem to want to drag their breeches around their ankles while you're at the convenience store.
They wouldn't allow people to
Okay,
walk
just
around
checking.
like that. But I will say I went into a business not too long ago to get a meal.
Yeah.
And the person working behind the register, had the pants that were around his legs. They weren't even around.
Let me just
his
warn you,
legs.
this is the type of woman when checking out that sees that will reach over the counter and jerk the britches up and say, "Don't you do that again."
No, but I really wanted to go. Could you just pull those up, please? Just pull them up, put a belt on, something. Or, well, they had a belt on. It was around the legs.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand that style, but anyway.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I'm just going out on a limb and
I'd rather not say you boxers.
Pull your britches up if you're watching me. They're down around your ankles. Because, I've seen so many crimes, and if y'all have seen this of people trying to outrun the law, y'all think about this now. If you're a criminal and you're trying to get away from the popo, you can't run quick with your britches around your ankles. Just want to let y'all know.
Well, I mean, like the kids in school with the uniforms, I know that looks better. I think that if you're working in a business and they have a uniform, there should be a code
of professionalism.
That you go by. That's just my thought on that.
That's right. They're always up if you head down to the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Never caught Steve that he didn't have his pants just right. Go in and see them. Some great folks at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply that you can get a deal on. And, of course, that last-minute rush of getting the house decorated, if you need any of that, they've got that. Plus tons of gift ideas for just about anyone as you go through the shop and come over if you're needing shirts, Ariat shirts. They're great. If you need a pair of work breeches, if you're looking for that, or maybe a pair of overalls, one of the handiest things you will ever own. And I've heard so many people say, once you wear one pair, you don't want to ever go back to a three-piece suit. You'll want to wear overalls, all those 90 pockets for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If you need a hat, a good one, they've got those for you there at the Farm Supply. Blue jeans and a whole lot more, including work boots. And if you need rubber boots, whether it's a work boot for your job or just what they call the old Festus boots, well, they got those for you there lined up. Come in, check out all the deer accessories, and if you need a new tent, you need a new blind, if a feeder is what you're looking for, they are Deer Central. They got it all, including game cameras and a whole lot more there with weights. Corn, did I mention that? They've got it. See it, lime, and a whole lot more for your horse and all. Pets, guns, ammo, where do you find it? The Lauderdale County Farm Supply.
I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. Why do bikers hire us after their accident? Let's ask them.
I was on my way home and a car just rear-ended me. I called Richard Schwartz because I needed help with the medical bills. I feel like his team has done a great job in representing me and taking care of me. Don't hesitate to call Richard Schwartz. That one call, it will make a difference.
One call, that's all.
One of the biggest headlines that you will see across America today is about Hobby Lobby. And boy, are they stepping up to the plate and hitting a grand slam, offering $18.50 an hour to, I think, all employees at this point.
I think it's a great thing.
That's major.
Yeah, it is.
Now, they are
that's
a
like
real...
what? I mean, that's double what you would make minimum wage.
A very faith-based company. And they're the type company that will cut back their profits for their employees to earn more. There's a lot of companies that you know nationwide that they don't pay a lot because they want that overhead and that bottom dollar to look great on their reports instead of giving back to the employees. That's where it's all gone. We all know that.
I think they're closed on Sunday, too.
Yeah.
Like Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sunday.
Not many companies like that. So we salute y'all for helping out the common man there to earn a living again.
And ladies, who does not like Hobby Lobby? I mean, come on.
You know, it's been a while since I've been in.
It's a lot to look at. It's kind of overwhelming to me, but I can usually find what I'm looking for when I go to Hobby Lobby.
Whatever it might be, you're after it, huh? Let's see. This is one of the headlines that comes to us out of St. Louis, Missouri. I think we all know about the arches and have passed through. A gentleman was sent to prison when he was 18 years old. Now, he was involved in stealing Christmas presents and shooting at someone. I think somebody was grazed on the leg. No one was killed. But he was sentenced at the time by a judge to 241 years in jail for his attempt of stealing the Christmas presents. Since then, the judge has decided that it was a little harsh and went back on his defense and asked for him to be lenient and drop the sentence to the courts.
Yeah.
They are doing so, and he's going to get granted parole. And he spent 15 years in jail, and they say that was a little excessive for it not being murder.
Right.
We've all seen someone go to jail for less than that actually did commit a murder.
Yeah.
I think it's changed his mind on doing things wrong, though. The bad thing...
That's good when somebody can have a...
And I don't really know how to address this, but, you know, you talk about prison, being sent to prison. There are a lot of times that if you're not a career criminal, after you go to prison and get out, you're well trained in it after you've spent a little time in jail.
Yeah.
I don't know what can be done about that. I don't have the answers. But it's like if you didn't know how to do something when you go there, when you get out, you'll definitely have spent some time with folks that can teach you.
That's right. Goodness.
OJ is a free man today. His parole is over and ended. And, you know, that was a part of the thing where he broke in to get back his trophies that he considered his.
Okay, yeah, I remember. Wasn't there a kidnapping and all that kind of stuff involved
Possibly.
in all
Gosh,
that?
it's been so long.
It was like I can't remember, but it seems like it was something else to that.
And a
couple of other people involved.
It was more people. But, you know, it was always considered that maybe that sentence was handed to him since he didn't get one on the other one. Now, that can never be proved. I think that is just the thoughts of most Americans of that probably had a little bit to do with it there. Let's see here. Good morning to, do you pronounce that Decuz?
Because I think so. Mm-hmm.
Good morning to you there. That's new on me, I have to say there.
Yeah.
Some other headlines that are making America today. Biden tells us, and well, I believe everything Biden tells us, don't you?
Sure. Come on, man. What you talking about?
Come on, yeah, let's circle back. He says that it's going to be a sweep in 22 by Democrats by winning everything. So this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Although
We'll see.
you can't buy a loaf of bread for less than $4, and hamburger meat is now $25 for a little piece, and your gas tank costs you $4 a gallon. He says he's still going to go back in.
Yeah, I could probably afford to get a whole 5 gallons.
Truthfully, it doesn't matter your political affiliation.
Yeah.
Usually, and it's statistics has always backed it up. When you go to the gas pump and you go to the grocery store, if things are higher, usually that person that's in office goes away.
Yeah.
Although you may have been mad at someone that tweeted at you wrong, he did keep more money in your pocket. We'll see how
I'm
that.
hoping that it's going to be a game changer here pretty soon. I think it is.
It certainly looks like it.
I mean, with an approval rate at what he has, I cannot see people voting for that again.
And his counterpart there, her numbers are not any better. She smiles a lot and laughs.
Well, she didn't have a good approval rate before she even got put in as vice president. I don't,
Yeah, and normally you pick the strongest person that was in the race. If everyone, seriously, again, I bring up no matter what affiliation, how you vote, independent, Republican, or Democrat, think back. She was the first, and I say this, first man out.
And don't you think that if that was the case with anybody else, that you would go above and beyond to prove that you
can do the job?
Can you do the job, and you're gonna, try to make a change or try to make a difference, Yeah. And no.
That's shocking, but that is the headlines of what's going on up there. As we all know that someone else probably writes him notes and puts earpieces in his ear and tells him which way to walk.
I feel like she kind of feels like she's just a shoe-in for president here eventually, and she, what do I have to work for it for?
And the headline that we read last week was that she's so worried about taking over his job, she's not doing her job. Yeah. There's probably a little truth to that. The House voted yesterday to hold Trump's chief of staff in contempt for not coming to give his 2 cents worth to the Senate. So he has been condemned. We'll find out what happens as we keep finding out that Laura Ingraham and Don Jr. may have sent him texts. They've gotten into his phone. They've seized his phone records, and they were mad about what happened on January the 6th, and all that's coming out.
They've seized Don Jr.'s?
No, the Capitol. Mark Meadows.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry.
Don Jr. sent texts to him, and so did Laura Ingraham. And they're putting all that out there in an effort to make everybody look bad. Maybe they shouldn't have. Even Bill, in the headline read, Bill O'Reilly, disgraced Bill O'Reilly, condemns Don Jr. for doing that. It's probably not smart to ever send a text if you're a politician or your dad is the...
Right, because somebody's got eyes on that.
Yeah, they're gonna hack it. They're gonna get court records to pick all of that stuff up. In other political news this morning, and the first time I ever saw his name, I thought, surely that is not his real name. But it is. And Jim Bob Duggar has lost his bid for Arkansas Senate. Out of all the folks that voted in Arkansas, only about 450 people went out and voted. It was all over when the charges came out against his son. If you can't take care of your own household, how can you run the nation's household?
Well, I mean, that is true. And then when you have all the children that they had, you have to know, or at least try to know or be aware of what's going on under your roof.
And I'm almost certain that they didn't know what was causing that after, 25 kids? I mean, there's no way that somebody should have drew the man a picture. Yeah.
Well, it's a bad thing. I hate it,
Yeah, he didn't get it. He's not headed there. As we talk about tornado victims, let's go into that just a little bit. Has everybody kept up with this? We have now, this is
the saddest thing.
Oh, it is. The headline reads, Kentucky's youngest victim is a 2-month-old girl. She died after her parents strapped her into a car seat and trying to protect her. And it picked up the bathroom and threw everybody. And bless her little heart, this is what she looked like. And our hearts go out to that family there. A 2-month-old baby has passed away. A sad, sad, sad thing.
Which breaks my heart.
As I saw where the Toyota Corporation is going to be giving money to help fund this, and there's a lot of fundraisers.
I saw where the Kentucky governor's wife, I think she is trying to head up a mission to take up toys,
For kids?
That's
good.
Because, I know there's a lot going on with the disaster part of it, but, there are children, too, and it's Christmas coming up, and
10 days away.
Where a lot of people will think, well, that's not what we're focusing on right now, but kids don't see it that way.
That's correct.
So I think it's a good thing.
Santa needs to come in a pickup truck, as they say.
Yeah, and I think anybody throughout the nation can donate to that.
Yeah.
I think you can go to, I know that Fox News had the
link.
The link. You can go to that, and they will link it to them. And you can donate. I want to say they were asking for either $20 or $25 Visa gift cards, or toys could be sent of any kind. They said they would take any kind of donations. So, anyway.
Those folks are in hardship.
Yes.
There's no other way to word that.
Yes.
Now, what do we see on the horizon after this for Amazon and also the candle factory? I smell lawsuits coming, and I think you do as I do.
Yeah.
We've had seen countless headlines to where they're claiming that managers at both facilities would not allow the employees to go to storm shelters. And if you don't allow when a tornado warning is issued, now that's one thing that a watch is issued, but when a warning is issued that a tornado is near and you do not let your employees go to a safe place, it puts you probably in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And it is looking, over at Amazon, the Navy vet that was there, his sister is saying, now how she knows all this, maybe she was on the phone with him. You don't know. But she's saying that they were not allowed to go to the storm shelter either. Bad. But this was one of the worst tornadoes in the history ever of touching down there.
Yeah. For something to stay on the ground for 200 miles. That is just unheard of. And
you go back to the candle factory, it's even saying that the supervisors are saying if you go in there, you're fired for not doing your job.
Yeah. Did you see, I think I sent you a video the other day on one of the messenger things, but there was a video that somebody had taken of, I want to say it was where the Amazon factory was, but they took a video of the tornado that when it was touching down, and it was so wicked looking to me because it was like 5 or 6 vortex types thing just going around. It just looked like it makes chills come on my arms just thinking about it now. It looked like it was about 5 or 6 tornadoes on the ground at one time, and they were just demolishing.
And when you bring that up, boy, I wish I had a picture of it, and I don't have it in front of me right now. Have you seen the picture of the airplane pilot that was at like 45,000 feet that videoed the tornado above it looking down at it?
No.
That was wicked. I've seen that posted several places. So we mourn for the folks in our country that, and this could happen to us just as easily as it happened to them. Yeah,
'cause you think about so many people, these tornadoes that happen at night, and, you try to make people aware of it, but so many people don't have any kind of a alert on their phone or alert anywhere, to wake them up. And they're in a dead sleep,
The best out there is the NOAA weather radio, and I've got 2 or 3.
It'll blow you out of the bed.
It goes off when anything happens. And it will not hush until you get out of bed.
It will not.
So you've got one too.
Yeah, well, I did. I did
you
have it on.
No. Yes.
Well, I could not figure out mine. Now on my phone, I have an alert thing. But no, I'm not knocking the NOAA weather thing because it is a great thing, and my mother's got hers down pat.
Just saying
but
it's loud.
I couldn't figure it out because mine would go off for like flash floods.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
even in our area. It was like for another county.
Well, you have to program them.
I know, and I just did not know how to do all that. And so it blew me out of the bed like every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so
you
I was
can,
like, I got to turn
if you
this
don't
off.
program those to where it does your area, anything that happens in the state of Mississippi or Alabama, it'll
Right.
go to hollering.
But it works. So
That's
you
right.
need something to wake you
but
up.
it always
definitely
helps
do
me
it.
when I'm even doing weather to
Yeah.
hear it, to know that, okay, let me check my radar,
Right.
update everything to make sure. And then if you live in a metal house, rump row,
Yeah. But anyway, that is a good thing to have. I'm
get
not
you
knocking
one.
it.
Radio Shack, with it disappearing, that was one of the most famous places you could get that. But
I hate Radio Shack. Like,
that was one of those handy things. And
you can find anything at the Radio Shack.
and then if they didn't have it, there was Hoopers, and guess what? They're gone.
I know it.
So it's hard to come by things of that nature at this point in our little town.
That's right.
But search for them, and when I get a link to one of somebody that goes over, we'll post that online where you can find it.
Tina Collins says, technically challenged. I am that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am.
We all have those little bitty things there. Like, I've yet to figure out how to set my email on my phone to where it's on there, but it doesn't notify me that, hey, you got an email. So I miss some every now and then. My old phone did it. I don't know. I got to get Dylan Ray to look at that when he comes back from college one day. We've got more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We've got more to share with you right here with Scotty Ray and Candace. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville are passing along these great specials. Idaho potatoes, 8-pound bag, $3.99. Mississippi sweet potatoes, 49 cents a pound. Cuties or halos, a 3-pound bag, only $7.99. Piggly Wiggly cranberry sauce, 14-ounce can, 99 cents. K-Rose syrup, 16-ounce, 2 for $5. And select T-bone steak family pack, $6.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Jeremiah Johnson's telling me to sync my email notifications. Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to have to find me an instructional video on YouTube, I guess, to do that all by my lonesome.
I mean, there needs to be a class for
People over 30.
people over 30 to learn how to do all this stuff. I mean, I really think that babies, I've seen little bitty kids figure out this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they come out of the womb with a phone in their hand.
I think the problem with folks, especially over 40, you think if you touch it, you'll break it. And a lot of times I don't touch something because everything in my studio is somehow, some way linked to something else. And if you touch one thing, it's going to shut it down.
Yeah.
So I've gotten into that thing of, I don't know if I want to touch that.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
I took a class on all these computer programs and stuff, that are out there.
What'd you learn?
Excel and all this kind of pap. I
What'd you
learned a lot. Did I retain it?
Now that Excel
Thank God
class
I wrote
that
it
they
down
teach
in
at
a book.
MCC is some kind of.
Well,
you
that is
got
what I took.
Small, medium, and all the way to the top there.
Yeah. I took it. It was like a few weeks and I took the class and I mean, I did learn a lot, but you go through it in a hurry. And so I had to write it all down and I couldn't.
If you don't use it every day,
That's the thing. If you don't apply, like if you don't use it and practice it, you're not going to.
No, you don't.
Anyway.
Hey, let's go back in time and tell you a few things that happened on this day. It was Atlanta, Georgia, in December that they all gathered together and all the stars from Hollywood showed up. Why? Because it was the premiere night of Gone with the Wind in downtown Atlanta, and everybody showed up for it. Of course, that was a different time, and it was a big time for them in Atlanta, Georgia that night. As we look at other things, boy, she was a gorgeous woman, wasn't she?
She was. She was really pretty.
And would die relatively young. Melanie just passed away, who played the part of Melanie, Olivia de Havilland, I think it was last year.
Really?
Yeah, in England.
Goodness. Yeah, but Scarlett could raise her eyebrow. Like, how you do that? One eyebrow.
It's a Southern woman thing. That old girl had it going on. And so many people were named Rhett after that movie.
I love the name Rhett. I tried to get my daughter, because it's an R name.
To name her Rhett.
I wanted her to name her little boy Rhett. I love the name. We had a little boy on our ball team. It's the cutest little thing. I mean, cute as a button, but I love the name Rhett.
Wouldn't do it.
No.
You need to do something to her. Make her have another kid.
Look, 2 is going to be enough right now.
As we look at the next thing, a guy come up and disappeared on this date back in 1944. Everybody knew him. He was probably the most popular guy singing at the time. Had the biggest band. His name was Glenn Miller. He would board a plane to go sing to troops and never be heard of again. Plane disappeared. They never found it, and a great loss for them.
Was it by the Bermuda Triangle?
That I don't know. Of course, you've heard the song, and I don't know any of the words, the Chattanooga Choo Choo. He was responsible for hits like that. Big in his time, and as time slowly goes on, people are forgetting who Glenn Miller was. It's just that type of music is not around. But in his day, he was it on a stick.
Yeah.
If you remember all of that, and a few folks that probably do. 1944, it would be a marriage that would change a man's life forever. He would be told what to do. He would argue with her, and they would fight to the bitter end. But at the end of the day, she really made who he was. Hank married Audrey on this day back in 44. They would make it to May of that 52 before they would divorce.
All right.
She was tough. If you've ever done any of your history there, but she did make him. She did, and then she went on to rule Hank Jr.'s early career as well. Anybody that she had contact with, she kind of ruled. Bossy comes to mind. Is what I was thinking.
I would not know.
1966, you would wake up on this date and find out that this guy who had really innovated what you'd seen on television had passed away, and a kingdom would mourn him. Walt Disney passed away on this date. Responsible for so many characters that you come to love.
Yeah.
They even asked at one time for a no-fly zone around Walt Disney. He wasn't granted it, but it was asked.
Have y'all ever been to Disney World?
No, we couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I've not ever been either. My kids have gone with like groups, you know, if they've gone to compete with something. My son went with the chorus at West Lauderdale. I have never been though. Like that's just one of those things. I don't see how some people can. I've seen people go several times a year. You know, I don't know how they do it.
It just wasn't. I'm being as flat honest as I can be. We couldn't afford it.
Yeah, us too. I mean, it was not on our budget.
We went to Stone Mountain. That was free.
Yeah, but I would love to go one day. You know, I think it would be neat.
Where you too can buy a Coca-Cola that's $25 for a small cup.
Yeah, we went to Six Flags one time when the kids were little. That was expensive.
It's seriously somewhere around $6 to $8 for a drink.
You know, I found myself going to the water fountain and refilling the cups
because you can't sneak it in.
Oh my goodness!
Security.
Yeah, I mean it was like very expensive. Anyway.
But you know, early on, it was tough. We tried to go on many vacations as we could, but we couldn't provide things like that. Well, it wasn't possible.
Well, I mean, you go to the beach and you rent a condo and you stay a week, you're going to pay $2,000 probably or more, depending on where you stay. And and that doesn't count your food, your entertainment if you go anywhere and do anything.
Dylan told me not long ago of when he was a kid that he would never tell us what he wanted. He always told Santa because he knew we couldn't afford what he wanted. Ooh, boy, you want to talk about something that'll strike you.
Oh, yeah.
But he was smart enough to realize that things were tight, and that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Toughy
It is,
there.
and that's for a lot of people. I mean, not everybody can do that kind of stuff. And I'm, grateful for people that can. Yeah. That's a great thing. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying I never could. But anyway, if you spend time with your kids, quality time.
That's right.
To me, there's no dollar sign on that.
No, there's not. 1975, you'd wake up, a divorce had recently happened, and the song would be a #1 smash because people identified with, it was the divorce that probably brought this song on. Mm-hmm. And you found out that Tammy had the #1 song, Until I Can Make It On My Own. Mm-hmm. Boy, Martina McBride re-recorded that song as a tribute to Tammy Wynette. Both versions will make the hair on your arm stand up. But if you want to hear a great song, that is one to hear. That was right after her and George divorced. It would become a huge, huge hit. 1988, I had just graduated high school. I was on my own, and I remember hearing it, that this guy was going to the pokey for 6 years. He had been sentenced. And who are we talking about? James Brown. He had done so many bad things, they finally got him.
Yeah.
And off to jail he went. The hardest working man in showbiz, as they always said. And my first time that I ever saw the man was when I watched Rocky, and I didn't know who he was.
Oh, really?
What did he do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, we kind of froze there for a second.
But he was good. He for what he did. Living in America, was that the song that come out of Rocky that he done? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I was trying to play it through my head.
And he named several towns across the USA. 1993, this was a movie that I think went on to win numerous awards. And I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly. Sometimes we all know that I don't get the English language as good as it could be. Schindler's List, is that how you say it?
I think so.
Was released on this date, and it was a big box office hit. And again, many awards passed along with that. There's a misspelling, as I noticed this before we throw it up on the screen, so disregard this, but I'll tell you what it's supposed to say. $1 Million Baby was released, a Clint Eastwood movie. Morgan Freeman was in it, and I have yet to watch this, and I hear it's good.
Now, was she a boxer?
I believe so.
I think she was a boxer, yeah. Yeah, I've heard it's a good movie, too. I've never seen it. There's a lot of movies I've never seen just because I don't have time to sit
I'm going to fit that one in. Too many people talked about that being good. Because for years, I never watched Cinderella Man. And I kept thinking, I don't want to watch something named Cinderella Man. That just doesn't sound like something that would fit me. And let me tell you, I walked away from that movie with tears in my eyes. It was so good.
Really? That's another one I hadn't seen.
Touching. Tina says, I feel good. That was James' biggest thing. You know, and it would go on with James Brown family fighting over his estate, and he would lay in the coffin. They didn't bury him for the longest.
Gosh.
They were fighting amongst themselves over who got what.
That takes me back to high school. A friend of mine, Shay, she and I would
fight over.
We would laugh and cut up, and we'd kind of do that little, like you did a while ago, little thing you did.
Yeah.
We would joke around about it, but anyway.
And as we bring up James Brown, years and years ago, Debbie, who done the morning show with me, had James Brown on her desk, and it was a button that you could push on it, and James would dance and yell, I feel good.
Oh, really?
I'll never forget that little statue. I don't know what become of it. I have never listened to this song, ever in my life. I've heard a chorus of it, and I thought, well, that probably isn't a song for me, and I disregarded it. I think it was a pop hit to begin with, and then it was re-recorded into the country music world and released upon you. 2014, Girl Crush hit country radio.
That's not one of my favorite ones still.
But Little Big
weird
Town is not country. I don't care how you try to slice it and what Nashville tells you, that is not country music. There's nothing wrong with their music, but it is not country music. Label it something else.
Two of those are married. Which ones? They're a couple.
I would know.
I don't know if it's the blonde and the one on the end and the yellow, or the dark-haired one and the yellow.
Yeah,
I think they're a couple.
I could stand next to them at a Wendy's and not know who they are. It just it doesn't have that. George Strait, you could pick him out a mile off even in a ball cap.
Yeah.
But that's just my way of thinking. A lot of other people love music like that, and I'm proud for you.
I kind of like them. Like the Pontoon song. I like that.
Don't know that one.
You never heard of that?
No. I mean, when country music took that turn, I gave it up.
Yeah.
Like, who's that group, Florida Georgia Line? I mean, they never got to be worried about arrested for being country.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of theirs. So,
and if y'all pay attention, and mark my word, listen to country radio, you're not going to hear Toby Keith on there. He is no longer part of the playlist of country music.
Really?
Only on classic will you hear Toby Keith. Pay attention to all of these radio stations that play that. He ain't there. I have problems like that.
I like to listen to the old country stations anyway.
But that's just me. I make my own playlist up here when I'm working and chasing criminals and trying to get information for people. We all up in here with some Johnny Paycheck and things of that nature. Stuff that you can understand.
Yeah.
That's just me and my thoughts. You may have other thoughts than me. But more power to you if you like that other type of music. Nothing wrong with it there at all. As we turn to talk about some more folks that, as we talk so much about tornadoes lately, we want you to know about this group here. And it's the precast group here in Meridian. When bad weather breaks out, that's why they're there. That's why their business is there. They build storm shelters, and they do it right. They have 2 or 3 different models to choose from. Here's one here that, this thing weighs, as I've said, 20,000 pounds. It can be attached as a closet in your home if you're building it ground up. Make sure to put one of these in there. Solid steel doors, and they're tested. Nothing's coming through this. A lot of businesses put these out back where their employees can go to them. They've got them where they're buried in the ground. Easy to find. You can even go out and take a look at this, see if you like it or not. 6261B, Highway 145 South is where you'll find them there. In the ground, above ground, any way you want to do it. It's the Precast Group. They build many other things there also. Cattle gaps, picnic tables, but storm shelters is what brought them to the table. 482-003. Find out why so many people use them. Peace of mind and a whole lot more. See them today. They'll help you out.
First 10 days following an accident are crucial. Insurance companies don't wait. They have a staff of adjusters, attorneys, and investigators collecting information that can be used against you.
Call Richard Schwartz today.
Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rockhouse will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin another day. It's Wednesday. If you weren't paying attention to this, there was a plane crash where the landing gear didn't work properly there down in Clark County yesterday. Scott's Record Service was there. They hauled it off, but the landing gear didn't work right. I think everybody's okay, but that did happen in Clark County, just so you're up on things there.
No injuries.
Yeah, that would have to be a scary feeling in a plane, knowing you're fixing to land and the landing gear is not right.
Yeah. I mean, just the impact of hitting the ground.
They call that belly landing, I think, is what that's actually called. So, whew. A couple of things that are going on in the Meridian area that I wanted to bring up. I got me some notes about this that I put down. We had, let me see which one we want to start here. The Lauderdale County man is on trial this week. Truett Thomas Pace. There's a lot of talk about this. It was a murder that happened a few years ago. Not far, it was out in the Bailey community or Center Hill community on Brown Hook Road. Mm-hmm. He has not been in jail since then. There was a lot of things that went on with COVID that it was put off, but he's on trial this week and he's not in jail. He's coming back on this. We'll see how this turns out. There'll be a lot of testifying this week, and I've seen a lot of family members posting things about this week. We feel for them. She was a beautiful young lady that lost her life during that. Also, an arrest was made. Derek Hinton was arrested on DUI charges going back to a June wreck that claimed the life of two people. So it's good to see that was done. And as things develop more on that, we'll pass it along to you. One of the biggest things happening in our area. Here's the look on that I brought up a minute ago. Here's the picture. And let me go back here. Here it is, a picture at 45. That's really not a good picture. It doesn't show. I've seen different ones. But this was the tornado from the air that was there. This is inside the cockpit of an airplane, and that is the tornado out in front of him.
That is crazy. So that's like above the clouds?
Yeah. At 45,000 feet. Interesting.
That is weird. And I guess the video shows that you could see the movement of it.
Right.
You know.
As we look at other things, Meridian Police Department is asking for your help. If you've seen this car and this tag, let me pull this up. They sent this out yesterday there. If you've seen a car with the tag number SPA 2335 or seen this young lady here, they would like to find her and talk to her. As we look at the different things the Meridian Police Department goes on to say, let me look at how they worded this. She's wanted in motor vehicle theft out of Meridian and grand larceny out of Flowood. The car was reported stolen in November from the 1700 block of 23rd Avenue. It was last seen October 1st. It's an 08 Chevy Impala. It's silver, so if you've seen it, call. And I've had a lot of people, I've had 2 or 3 text me and go, I think I know who that is, and they've contacted Crime Stoppers. Okay. So good job on everybody that's done that. And again, it's assumed we'll find out what they know, but they are looking for her to talk to her. Doesn't mean you're guilty. This means they want to talk to you. We'll find out as the Meridian Police Department updates us on all of that as it comes about. I was checking here. I posted this yesterday. Have you ever heard of the town South Lake Tahoe in California?
I've heard of Lake Tahoe.
I follow the police department. This is in California. And you think of California as sunshine and beautiful weather all the time with beaches, but this is actually how it looks in the more mountainous area of California as we pull this up.
Goodness.
It is 18-wheelers. They're having trouble with people not putting chains and not being able to make it up the roads. I can't imagine driving in that every day.
I can't either, much less driving an 18-wheeler. I mean, I can't imagine driving just a small car, you know.
As Jed Clampett would say, "Yeah, doggy." Let's see here. We have to give I guess we will call this that a girl on the back to the governor of South Dakota, who is writing in a new law that is ordering schools to offer a minute of prayer for the kids, a moment of silence for the kids to have prayer each day in the schools. South Dakota.
I think that's a great thing.
She's making a name for herself.
I think it's a great thing. I think it's good that people are standing up for stuff like that, for prayer and letting kids do that. Because, you know, we've seen the opposite end of the spectrum.
Right.
With them trying to take it out of the schools. And in a lot of instances, they have succeeded, you know.
They have. They're now taking it out of courthouses all across the United States. Can't have those 10 commandments. We don't want you to read the good things in life.
Right.
And we wonder why there is so much crime and bad things that go on in our world. There's a book that describes all of this. You get a chance to read it sometime. It's called the Bible.
Yeah.
Teach you a lot there. As we go to another news story, the parents of the kid that killed so many people at the Michigan high school. Here's a picture of them in court as they whispered, "I love you," to each other in court as they're trying to make an example of the parents of take care of your kids, watch them, trying to make them be held responsible for the kid for what he done. Now, here's the next headline with this. His attorney, he's a 15-year-old, and I think most people have seen his mugshot where he looks like a little troubled. Here he is. Here's the 15-year-old. He's been tried as an adult. His attorneys are asking the state to let him be transferred back to a juvenile facility so he can begin school again online. I don't even know what to say about all that. That is a bad, horrible situation.
I don't think I'd say anything nice.
Yeah, so I'll leave that exactly where it is. Yeah. Coming up, we're going to tell you about a love triangle that went south. And what do you do when your girlfriend gets you in trouble? We'll tell you what happened here in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. This one is, there ought to be a book written about this. We'll tell you about it in just a second. Godwin Cleaning Services is where we head to as you're getting ready for Christmas. There's still time to get your place all gussied up, as we say in the Deep South. Get it taken care of, whether it's a business or if you've got a New Year's Eve event coming up. Make sure that your business is clean for the holidays. Harry Mayer and all the good folks have gotten their you call these
awnings.
Awnings. Why couldn't I think of that?
But yeah, they can make them look brand new. You don't have to replace them. Not every time. Yeah.
That's right. Make them look clean again, from brick to getting all of your vinyl siding taken care of. Any rust that may be there with soft washing. It'll restore the look of your business, your home. Rust removal is what that is. As you look at metal buildings, well, they look new again. And this can all be done just for you. Won't blow the paint off by any reason. Or the shingles or your asphalt, whatever the case is there, slate roofs, they'll make it look new again by this low pressure washing system. Looks great.
That's right. They have a certain chemical, I'm sure, that they can spray on there, and it gets it right off. And they can do it from the ground. You know, they said that they can, you know.
He'll come out and give you an estimate, have it done in no time. Give them a call at 601-253-8262 is that number to call. They'll help you in any way they can. See them, Godwin Cleaning Services. See them today, and they'll make everything great for you as we get ready for the holidays.
I'm Richard Schwartz. If you've been in an auto accident, don't hesitate to call for legal help. Remember, the first 10 days following an accident are crucial. I am Richard Schwartz, and I'm here to help you.
Call Richard Schwartz today.
As I mentioned, the story that we wanted to talk about, say that, well, you're married. You're making a business trip, and you might have a girlfriend in another town. You don't want nobody to know about it.
Yeah.
So you fly into town, you and her hook up, and then a few days later, you get a text from somebody that says, "Hey, I know about y'all, and if you don't give me some money, I'm fixing to call your wife." What do you do? I mean, that's a bad situation.
I've not ever been in that
Well,
position, and
I'll tell you
don't
what
ever
to
plan
do.
to be.
Grab your second cell phone that you got hidden in your desk that your wife doesn't know about, and call some buddies of yours and go, hey, I'm going to give you an advance of, let's say, $15,000 to go handle this situation. So with their ex-Marines, they know what they're doing. They take care of bad guys.
Yeah.
So they drive to Nashville, and they find out the guy that's sending the text is actually her boyfriend and living with her in the same house.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, he smarts off to him.
A little, what do you call it, blackmail?
Yes, what it was, blackmail. And he smarts off to the three Marines, and, well, what do? They do what they do best. They cap him right there on the spot, chuck him in a van, and they kidnap her. They take her then to another location. Apparently, they didn't like what she had to say, so they went ahead and took her out. So now they've taken care of the problem, erased it, so to speak. Only their biggest mistake was all this was done through email and phone, with phone records being tracked. They've traced it back to a business owner.
Goodness.
He transferred $750,000 after the murder had been done, and he has now been arrested along with all of them. And this is a made-for-TV movie if I've ever seen one.
So the guy planned on them murdering them.
More or less, yes.
Okay, I didn't know what
That's the way it went.
What their plan was. That's awful, though.
Almost $800,000 given to erase a problem. And again, that's what they done for a living. They were good at what they did, except for they deleted the email accounts, but it was still traceable at that point. If you're bad guys,
not to give all military people a bad
right,
obviously,
but these guys knew what they were doing. They were murderers for hire. They're mercenaries, is what that is.
It was a couple of bad seeds and all.
Right, they were retired. They had gotten out of it and done their time and making money on the side.
That was a bad decision. Bad choice of jobs to take on.
At the end of the day, I think his wife found out about all this after this. Whoops.
Goodness.
He got some splaining to do, and he'll have to do that before judge and jury, and he'll have a little time. She was a beautiful girl. I'll give her credit for that. But bad situation there. That's out of Nashville. We've learned headlines today. Derek Chauvin, we hadn't seen his name in the, if I pronounced that correctly, did I?
I think so. Chauvin. Yeah.
He is set to plead guilty in another round of civil rights charges against George Floyd. That's coming very soon. He's just going to plead guilty on the breaking his civil rights. I don't know if that puts more charges on him or not.
Yeah.
Not good for him either way, but he is going to plead guilty. There's no way for him to win that, and I think everybody knows that. We've got just a minute to bring this up, and we see how these cases are going. A General Hospital star, remember us bringing him up? Ingo, how do you pronounce his last name?
Rademacher?
Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but you kind of get the gist of what it is.
Yeah.
They got rid of him because he wouldn't go get his COVID shot.
Yeah.
He has now filed a lawsuit against ABC for firing him over that. Again, I think y'all will see many more companies being sued for firing people over this.
Well, he played Jax on General Hospital, so.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
Do you know Jax?
Because my grandmothers both watched it, but yeah.
Also, a U.S. Navy warship commander has been fired for not taking his COVID shot. No word yet that if he's going to go to court and try anything, but he's been relieved of duty, and they have taken away his ship from him.
Well, you know, on General Hospital, they killed one of the guys off that had been on there for years. I bet he'd been on there for 20 years. So that was the second one. Yeah, second one that refused to get the shot. Yeah.
Out in California, if you're watching us from there today, it looks like y'all are getting a statewide mask mandate once again. So be ready for that, to be able to wear those in anywhere that they require it. California, at this point, I could be wrong, I don't know the rest of the states, but it's one of the few that still have a mask mandate that I'm aware of.
I've seen a couple of places here in our own town locally.
Businesses?
Businesses that are requiring.
But no state mandate.
No, there's not a mandate, but it does say you must wear, like the post office the other day. I saw people go back to their car and get their mask. Huh. They're requiring people to,
I ain't been in a post office and I don't know when.
Yeah.
I like them delivering it to my house and all out there. Yeah. I just put a stamp. And
it's a little more convenient.
It is very convenient. But they do still exist. But yeah, I didn't know that. I hadn't been in one.
Yeah. It's on the door. Well, actually, it's a sign once you get in there but anyway.
I'd have to get somebody else to carry a package in for me. I don't know where mine is anymore. I don't have any.
Oh, I've asked my son to wear his at school for the few days they're going this week, just because the flu is so rampant right now. So,
It is a climbing.
Anyway.
We say thank y'all for joining us. We're coming back tomorrow morning with more news stories, and we'll keep you up to date with what's going on locally.
Yes.
Candace enjoyed it.
I did too. I hope y'all have a good day and a safe day, and we'll see you back in the morning, 8 a.m.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by